Welcome back to Trans Talk episode 2. I am filming this over in the US. I've just arrived and we are getting our bike unpacked, ready for some riding. And while I do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of the Trans Baviaans and what makes this event one of South Africa's most iconic and prestigious ultra-endurance mountain bike events. So, ultra-endurance cycling has become extremely popular over just the last few years with gravel biking, multi-day bike packing events, but there are few of them that have as much prestige and history as our very own Trans Baviaans. A 20-year-old event started in 2004 when mountain biking was a very different sport.
There was no 29er mountain bikes. No. V-brakes were the in thing. Discs were still being developed.
Yeah.
And your suspension was basically front shock.
Yeah.
Nothing at the back. Lights, of course. I mean, I saw people taping torches to their top tube.
My dad cycled one of the very first Trans Baviaans events that was put on. The Trans Baviaans is a 230 kilometer mountain bike event that starts in Willemore and ends in Jeffreys Bay, taking you through the Baviaans Cliff. Now, exactly how this race and its format, its course, and its 24-hour cutoff was conceived, I'll leave to Wikus to explain.
Something must have sparked the idea of doing the trans. And I think you said that you had worked in the park sport.
Yeah, well, Cape Nature basically. When I was young, many years ago, when mountain biking started, it was a startup sport. It wasn't big. I've been riding bicycles my whole life. At varsity, I cycled to class, I cycled to work, I cycled to school. So when mountain bikes came out, it sort of just continued. When we visited nature reserves, because it's far, long distances. You sleep over 2 nights or so sometimes. Then I took my bike with and I rode these areas. You know, that's where the love for the reserves came in.
And the linear route, the continuous journey from Willemore through to Jeffreys Bay.
Earlier years when mountain biking started to develop and more events came onto the calendar, it was always around 48 kilometers to 60 k's long.
Yeah.
And it was always a circular route.
Yeah.
I mean, to do 60 k's on a mountain bike in mountainous terrain was like a hell of an achievement.
With no suspension.
With no suspension. So this linear thing, I had my doubts. I said, but this is not going to work because
how are you going to get there?
How are you going to get to your car when you're done? Must you cycle back? Or how's this going to work?
Yeah.
It was like a logistical nightmare. And I thought, no, I'll never do that as an event. You know, it's too difficult, the logistics. But then to do an event in the Baviaans, because of the remoteness and the distances, I didn't know how to do it. Because you're looking for a circular route and Baviaans doesn't have a circular route. It took me 7 years from that the idea started of doing an event in the Baviaans Cliff to actually getting it done. A friend of mine and myself decided, no, we'll cycle from Willemore. Cycled into the Baviaans, see how far we can get. And we just...
Where did you get to on the first?
Cape St. Francis.
Are you serious? Okay.
We ended up in Cape St. Francis.
I thought maybe you spent the night at Wimpits at Sunfluct or something.
I must say we did cheat. Those years, Geelhoek Bos.
Lovely cabins,
And we stayed over in one of those. At an early next morning we carried on. We did it in, cycling hours, 16 hours or something. So we said, okay, but if you want to do it in one go, let's do a 24-hour limit on it. And that's where the idea started growing.
Right. I think 24 hours was a good time because I think my very first trance was a 23 hours and 45 minutes.
Wow.
And
So, the Baviaans Cliff National Park is clearly an incredible place. Its raw natural beauty and stark remoteness make it a super appealing place to come and adventure on a mountain bike. One of the other really interesting aspects of it is the community side of things. people that live out here in this remote, amazing place.
Because of the distance of the Baviaans and the remoteness of checkpoints, we try to make use of locals as far as possible to run the checkpoints. I mean, Vera's, a family-run little coffee shop in the kloof. She runs the first checkpoint, roasted cooker, for quite a number of years now. David and Ankia Smit, they run checkpoint 3 for us. Society Wors. That meat never gets frozen. It's a kudu that David shoot it, and they prepare the meat, marinate it, do the societies, and that goes straight through.
Goodness me. No, it's a community builder par excellence. But I think if you look around, your old Noel Isaacs, the Eastgate Park Sky.
He rode.
There are actually quite a few of them. So it's like an inspiration to the people living in the kloof.
A huge inspiration. I mean, Willowmore, every year they enter a team. As the community, we give them a free entry. Baviaans kloof also, one of the riders from Willowmore, Ian Simon from Simon's Garage in Willowmore was riding with him that year. And he said when they came over from Minimac on that flat, he says the sun was rising at that stage when they came through there. And this oak saw the ocean for the first time in his life.
My gosh.
He's never seen it before. He says, and that man was crying.
Wow.
And so we now have an entire generation of Trans Baviaans supporters. There are guys in their late 20s, early 30s with their children watching and supporting, who were their children's age watching the very first cyclists cycle this event. So Willowmore itself is a really beautiful little town. I really enjoy it, and the people there really enjoy Trans Baviaans coming through their town. Every year they put on these parades, almost a welcoming ceremony at registration the day before the race starts. They come out to support us and the race supports them.
The Willowmore pom-pom girls and the band and so on. Well, we're at a point now where we actually sponsor them. For their kit and their stuff, so to do that.
Right. I'm sure it is something that they look forward to every year. It's
But that also puts them in a position to go perform elsewhere with other events.
The accessibility to the course is a real reason to come and race this just on its own. The fact that riders can no longer go through the Baviaans kloof without a backup vehicle means that this is your only day of the year that you can go and cycle almost unsupported through the kloof.
When we started, Eastern Cape Parks had no gates going into the reserve. It was still an open public road, and as I say, the road was much better. You could travel with a normal two-wheel drive car, because in those years they have not yet introduced the dangerous animals that occur in the Baviaans kloof now, like buffalo. So you could cycle through by yourself and so on. Today you can't. Now they've got gates, it's controlled, access is controlled. You're not allowed to cycle through the Baviaans kloof unaccompanied. So you need to have a vehicle or something with you. We had a cyclist finishing here in Jeffreys. He came to us and said, do we have a lost and found? I said, yeah, we have some stuff that people bring in. He said, no, he lost his glasses in the Baviaans kloof. If somebody picked it up. I said, well, we'll let you know if we get something like that. But he said, but I know exactly where I lost it. So I said, well, why don't you stop and pick it up? He said, there was a buffalo behind me.
How I remember going to watch and support this event when I was 10, 11 years old, and I am so excited to race it now with my dad, who I was supporting 20 years ago on the exact same course, the exact same race, the same checkpoints, some of the same people coming out to support, and just so much history bundled up into one race, into one event. When you're riding Trans Baviaans, you really are getting the real deal, not just some bike event that's jumping onto the fad of ultra endurance riding. Otherwise, if you guys have been out riding your bikes, getting ready, I have loved getting out on my morning rides with Dad. I got in some amazing road riding while in Cape Town a few weeks ago. Now we've just arrived here in the US. If you have any questions, please send them through for the next episode of Trans Talks. And if you are getting out on your bike, getting in some training, please be sure to tag us on Instagram. We'd love to share what you're doing with the rest of the community.